So welcome back, everyone. I got another newbie with me. We are live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. I have with me Jonathan Grosvenor, and he is with Gentle Hearts Living Solutions. It's plural. Welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yes, so I am a senior placement agent here in the greater Phoenix area. I have been in senior living for 21 years. And I started in the beginning at 16 years old as a busboy cleaning tables, and eventually worked my way up through to be an executive director over assisted living and memory cares.
Wow.
And now I find myself on the outside looking in, helping folks find the right fit at no cost to them.
Wow. So this is a service that is also, this is a senior day, but that is very important. Because a lot of people, I guarantee you, call you when the crisis has hit. They don't know what to do. It happened to my ex, and his mom was in the hospital. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, she had to sell her house. She couldn't go there, and now where do I go?
Yeah.
Sort of like that's
exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about that, and what your thoughts are. What people do with that.
Yeah, we see that people often think they have time to make a decision, and what we see is they are reactive instead of being proactive. And so one of the greatest things that we do is connect with people early in this process to say, hey, what are your needs? What are your desires? Let's help find the right solution based on your income, your clinical needs, that sort of thing, and kind of getting in line what you need. We like to say a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. We want to make sure everything's lined up and we don't have any fires to put out when that time comes.
So a lot of families, they're using this service for different reasons. They're moving. Tell us what they're using your services for.
Yeah, most of our services are for the resident population or senior population needing some sort of scheduled care, assisted living, memory care, where they're no longer able to stay at home safely. And they say, hey, Jonathan, this is the scenario. Can you help us find the right fit?
Mm-hmm. And what does that look like at first? You make that call. What does that look like when you talk to them?
Yeah, so when someone first calls us, we are wanting to ask all the questions. It's more than just a list. Finding an assisted living or memory care that has availability is easy, but finding the right fit, not so much. Your how much you want to spend time with, entertainment and programming, maybe a religious affiliation, or your budget, or hobbies, interests, those types of things we really want to know. Because the analogy that I use is senior living is like a puzzle. And a lot of times families get caught holding one puzzle piece in their viewpoint, and it's cost, or it's just the location. I say, wait a minute, let's look at the big picture here. Let's put all the pieces together, and hopefully we can make a good picture, a good puzzle together.
It's important to call early. That's what I think what you would want to be proactive, right? Mm-hmm. And the phone number to call is 623-304-6982, Valley-wide, rated with the Better Business Bureau. Again, this is a free service to the families. Do not wait till it is where you are just scrambling and we got to find something fast. Gentle Hearts with an S living.com. So do you just give families a list of the places, and how does that work? Or do you take them on tours, or how does that work?
Yeah, I love that question. So we like to refer to it as hand holding. So we don't just give you a list or an email and say good luck, have fun driving through the Phoenix traffic. We will make that list for you. We will schedule or build an itinerary, and we go with you on all of your tours. We make sure that we're not missing any questions while we're there, and that once we've toured all of those options, that once we come down to what I say a final contender or two, then we start talking about pros and cons, and does this make sense, and really walking you through to the very end of that process. Paperwork with the physician, legal paperwork, and into move-in day, and we're really hold your hand through that whole process.
We have so many seniors here. That's why we have a lot of facilities, right? and it's important that you don't try and do this your own, because that's really on your own. It's because it's hard, right? There's a lot of information that you get out. You know them all. You visit them. You know what they're like, not just from the outside looking in, but from the inside looking in too, because you really check these places out. And so when you need this service, first of all, doing it early is the best thing that you can do for you and your family. Things happen. But you want to be able to have the phone number right there so that you know that who to call and who to talk to have this, because I guarantee you when you walk in to the home and you start making the little questions that you ask, because of how long you've been doing this. You said you've been doing it over 20 years or something like that. What was it? How long have you been doing this?
21 years.
21 years. You already kind of know some of the places that they would probably fit, which makes that so much easier than where do I start, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and even if families will often go online, or now the big thing is using ChatGPT, and they can, like I said, identify an availability, but it doesn't mean it's the right fit. And if you've never searched senior living, there's lots of things that we should discuss before you do so.
So what is the difference between working with a local placement agency such as what you have and what you work for, a specialist, you are a specialist in this area, then we know that there's on television, we've got all the ads and things like, as opposed to somebody who's national?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of the national organizations they will have an initial phone call with you. What they will do is they do what I call a spray and pray. And they will send your information to about 50 to 20 locations, and they're blowing up your phone. And most of those, based on my research, about, I would say maybe 8 to 10% of where they send your information may be a right fit. The rest is not, and it's a big waste of time. And when time comes that I need to make a move, and I need to do it now, that's the last thing you want. So we're totally in person. Everywhere we refer you to, we have been in person, we've vetted, we have gone online and checked the Department of Health website, make sure that they're meeting up to standards as well.
So they hold your hand through the entire process, as well as, please do not spray and pray. I mean, this is just crazy, and I'm sure a lot of people do this. It's a free service to you. It just makes sense to make the call. What is the biggest mistake that families make when trying to find senior living on their own?
What I find the biggest mistake is when it comes to understanding their clinical needs, and they do what we call it in inappropriate placement. Meaning they get in, they will find within the first 60 to 90 days that, oh, sorry, our community, our home is not licensed for the type of care your loved one needs, and so now we're going to evict you. And so I get that quite often. So
now, who needs that? That's terrible, because now you've placed yourself there, so you're there and they evict you?
And they evict you and you're back to square one.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where do you go? You have to go into your son's, and that's not necessarily what you want.
Right.
No, the main thing is to be on top of it, be with somebody who is a specialist, and I've been doing this for over 21 years. They hold your hand through this entire process. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau, valley-wide. Call them, and if you don't need them now, because sometimes you don't, write the number down and make sure that even if you know somebody that might need this, tell them about it. That's what networking is all about. 623-304-6982. It's Gentle Hearts with an S, living.com. Real quickly, because we're almost done here. How do families know how they can trust the recommendations that you're being given?
Yeah, so our team is nurse-owned, nurse-led. In addition to myself, I am a licensed manager, so I know the regulations that hold standards to these communities, and so we use that knowledge collectively to make the right fit.
Well, let me tell you something, folks. I've seen it firsthand with my ex-mother-in-law, who, I'm sorry, she fell, thought she was going to live in her home for the rest of her life, die right there, and needed to be moved very fast. And I saw how crazy it was for the family. So important that you don't let this happen. Be proactive, get on top of it. We all know when it's kind of coming, right? What are some of the signs that they should see real quick?
Yeah, families, a lot of times will notice that maybe a Medi-Set, where you're kind of setting up your weekly medications, maybe some days are not open, they're not taken, becoming forgetful, maybe falls are becoming frequent.
It's scary,
Yep.
but you can check that, make sure that this doesn't happen by being on top of it. His number is 623-304-6982. It's Gentle Hearts with an S, living.com.